Hi, I'm Michael El-Bacha and welcome to another episode of Hear the Music on the Panel Show. I am here with greatness today with Matt Scullian.
Hello mate, how are you?
Singer-songwriter. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And also Leonie McClure, a radio presenter / producer.
Hello Michael, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you for joining us this morning.
No worries.
I need to ask you, Matt Scullian,
Yes.
what is your passion with music?
Passion with music? I don't know. It's a good question. It's just something I love. Always loved it. Ever since I first picked up a guitar when I was 16 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. I've always been the same. Just loved to do it, and fortunately for me, at an early age, or pretty much when I picked the guitar up, I started writing songs straight away, and I fell in love with songwriting, and it's just progressed from there. And but definitely lyrics, and that's what drew me to country music always, is the storytelling and the words, and yeah, I just love all aspects of music: the travel, the people you meet, the storytelling, the performing. It's great.
You're a respected songwriter, actually.
Yeah,
you've
well,
worked with the
thanks.
likes of people like Cold Chisel. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was interesting because Ian Moss, he's from Alice Springs, and I spent a fair bit of time living in the Northern Territory, and so I met Ian a few times. And actually, when I went over to Fiji once to do a gig, we were on the same bill. So we had a few Fiji lagers that night and had a bit of a sore head the next day. Yeah, that's another story. Sorry, Fiji bitter, I think it was. Yeah, but when I was living in Nashville, probably about 4 years ago. A friend of mine, Sam Hawksley, was producing an album for Ian. Well, Ian was over there writing songs, and he said, "Hey Sam, what have you been up to?" He said, "Oh, I'm actually doing some work with Ian next week. Would you like to do some songwriting with him?" I went, "My God, I'd love to write with Ian Moss." You know. So anyway, long story short, we got together. We wrote a couple of songs together, and it worked out fantastic. And Ian went back home, and I was thinking to myself, I might be able to, if I get lucky, I might get a song on one of Ian Moss's solo albums, which would be fantastic. But then he sends me a text message and says, been running the songs past the boys in Chisel, because I didn't know Chisel were doing another album, and he said, it looks like the song's called Shoot the Moon. Looks like the boys want to record Shoot the Moon on the next Cold Chisel album. So I was like,
wow.
I was like, maybe I might get a song on an Ian Moss album to having a song on a Chisel album. So that was a big buzz. But the worst thing about it, Michael, was that I was in Nashville.
Yeah.
No one in the hell knows who Cold Chisel is over there. I mean, I'm trying to tell them, they go, "Well, who's Cold Chisel?" I'm like, well, Cold Chisel's like Australia's maybe Journey, the band Journey, because they love Journey over there. And I said, that's about so I'm running around yelling, I've got a song on a Cold Chisel album, but no one knew who they were.
Wow.
Except for the Aussies over there, that is. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was it. Anyway.
Thank you so much for sharing the story on
That's
the
all right.
show.
That's all right.
Yeah. Leonie, how are you going?
Good, Michael.
You're an amazing radio presenter at
thank
2RRR and a producer and a country's passion for music.
I do.
Is
I have
your
a
passion.
huge passion for.
And you guys know each other?
for
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've known Matt for a lot of years, and I do have a huge passion for country music, especially independent country artists.
Yep.
There's so many of them, and people say, "Who's your favourite?" I really don't have favourites. I always say that's my favourite because they're all my favourites. So yeah, I have a huge passion for artists like Matt and what they've done and their accolades.
And it's people like Leonie that keep the country music industry going. Because I mean, there are the people at the top, but there's a lot more people down there that are coming through the ranks, and it's people like Leonie that play our music and keep us out there. So
that's gorgeous.
it gives us a reason. I mean, the reason we do it is because we love to do it, but at the same time, we want to be heard. And people like Leonie and a lot of the other community radio stations out there, we know that if we do record something and it's of course it's got to be of decent quality, we know that at least we'll have a chance of getting it heard. So yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah. Well, how does that make you feel right now, Leonie?
Makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I love everything I do with country music. I've interviewed so many amazing artists, and I'm interviewing Matt next week, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
And, I mean, once again, I don't say, people say, you've got favourites, you must have a favourite. they're all favourites. It's like a country music family. And, you know, I started up something, I think it was 20 years ago, and it was a country music family card. And everybody said, I want one of those, you know, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought, we were up to about, I think 10,000, and we just had to stop because it was too big, and it was you know, it was a lot of fun, and and because that's hence why I got into radio, and I started out in Wonderland, Australia's Wonderland. Do you remember when they were doing the 6 weeks of country?
Yeah.
And my first person that I met was Leanne Rhymes and Keith Urban and Slim Dusty and Simply Bush, Wayne Law, you know, and I went, wow, you know, I'm loving what I'm seeing. And of course then the Dead Ringer Band, who, you know, like Casey Chambers and Bill Chambers, and you sort of think, there's nowhere that you can sit all day, every weekend for 6 weeks and see this amazing talent. And it was great, and that's what got me into country music. So
gorgeous. Beautiful story there. Now, Matt,
Yes?
I'm going to ask you, you've won some accolades over the years, and one of them is the Golden Guitar for your songwriting. Congratulations, first and foremost. That's amazing.
Thank you.
How was that feeling for you?
Undescribable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've done the Golden Guitar speech in my head so many times. Every time I write a song that I think's really good, I get so excited and I jump around the room and I do karate kicks. I get so excited about songwriting, and I think, wow, this could be a Golden Guitar finalist, this song, you know. So I've done this speech in my head, but it never turns out the way that you think it's going to turn out. You know, like if you're going to a place that you've never been before, you imagine what it's going to be like, and then you get there and it never looks like what you imagined. That's what it's like being up on that stage. And to make things worse was I had a really, really, really bad flu and cold that year. So it wasn't this festival, it was last January. And I had I was so sick, and I had all these gigs. I got through all my gigs. I got to my partner and I, Sharon, we got to the awards that night, and as we're walking in to be seated, Travis and Amber were on stage singing Our Backyard. It was a song, and I'm thinking, wow, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. I had this cough medicine with me, and it was really strong cough medicine, and I kept swigging on it because I was coughing all the time, and I didn't want to be sitting there because they had us right down the front. Lee Gernig was in front of me, and Troy Cassadale, everyone sitting. I was thinking, the last thing I want to be doing is coughing, and they're announcing awards. So I was swigging on this cough medicine. So by the time my name got read out, I was all dizzy from the cough medicine. So I walked up there, and I was just so sick. I was really sick, and it was really hard. I got my speech out, said what I had to say, but then the worst part about it was afterwards, there was a big party afterwards, and it was at the Powerhouse in Tamworth, and everybody was there. So I went there with Sharon, and I was so sick. I went to the bar and got one drink. I had a sip, and I said, Sharon, let's go. I just felt so sick. It was awful, and I wanted to bathe in my moment, but I couldn't. I had a quick gag to Troy and a quick gag to Lee, and I said, guys, I've got to go. I've got to go, and it was like a bittersweet. It was a bittersweet moment, but it's fantastic. I kiss it every morning. I love it. I love it. I want some more.
Yeah, it's good. It's hungry for more.
Absolutely. But I'm really appreciative of what I have, and if that's all I get, then that's all I get. But I've got one, and I'm really appreciative of that, and because I've writing with lots of people over the years, they've got golden guitars sitting around. I'm like, I want one of those. I mean, I could nick one, but it's not the same.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Lee Kertigan before. You've worked with him as well.
Absolutely. Lee, I've had, I think now 18 songs recorded by Lee. But they've all been songs that I've written with Lee, and most of them with Garth Porter also. So it would be Garth Porter and Lee and myself writing together. And I think 4 or 5 of those have gone to #1, which has been fantastic. And Lee's a great guy, and I've learned a lot from Lee. And he once said to me, what did he say? I can't even think now. What did he say? He said, a song is only as good as its idea. I think that was his way of saying, Matt, don't bring me shit ideas. But great advice. And he's so right, because a song is only as good as its idea. I mean, you can have a very ordinary idea, and it's never going to be anything but an ordinary song. It's got a great song starts with a great idea. an original concept, a great idea. Then once you've got that idea, then you've got to use your songwriting craft to craft that into something. But it all starts with the idea. So that was great advice from him that I still use and pass down to young artists these days.
Thank you for sharing that on the panel show. That's wise
No
words.
worries.
Wise words.
And another good friend of yours is Luke O'Shea's.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, Luke.
Yeah. And one of his songs is Bad Advice and Poor Directions.
There you go. So Luke and I are from the same school of music, really.
Yeah.
I met Luke about 15 years ago when I was recording my first album, and he's been a friend of mine ever since. He's a great guy.
He is.
I've recently done some shows with him at the Wentworthville
When He Leagues.
So, When He Leagues. And I run a songwriter show called the Scullian Sessions, which is once a month in Newcastle, and I've had Luke come up for that. So we've sort of done each other favours over the years. No, he's a great bloke. Great songwriter.
Oh,
see, there's a guy that's a perfect example of great ideas.
Yep.
Taking that great song, great idea, and you're like, wow, I've never thought about it like that before. And that's what you want.
And how
That's
many
what you want.
golden guitars has Luke won? About
I
9.
don't think he knows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say to you, Leonie, congratulations. You're actually up for a nomination for Radio Presenter of the Year for your community work at RRR at the ICMA Awards.
The ICMA
didn't
Awards,
know that.
yes.
Congratulations.
Well, I haven't won it.
It doesn't matter. The
No,
nomination's
it's just
fantastic.
being nominated.
No,
Yeah.
nomination's fantastic.
Yeah.
And also,
That's for your work at My Kind of Country, which is your show.
It is my show, My Kind of
Which is
Country.
amazing. We're just around greatness at the moment. So how does that make you feel?
it's wonderful. I've been nominated a few times for it, which is really nice.
Of course you
having respect from people and knowing that people listen, and because you go on air and you think, wonder who's out there, and you sort of, if you have something happen and you say, now we've got a bit of a problem. If anybody's listening, let me know if you can. And the phone goes crazy, and you think, wow, it's a wonderful thing.
I got nominated 7 times before I won a golden guitar.
Did you?
So
7 times.
Okay.
eh?
sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah, and
But just to be nominated
just
means
nice.
that you're getting acknowledgement from the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's fantastic.
And 2RRR have nominated me for an award for
Volunteer
the
of the Year.
Volunteer of the Year at Ride Council.
Good luck with that one.
And I think there's something else. I can't remember what it is at the moment, but yeah, it's great. It's wonderful to be nominated for things. And
Yeah. Can I just say, Leonie, since you're on the panel show, you inspire me. If it wasn't from you, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, sitting here right now with you and being part of 2RRR. So I really, your work is just amazing, and I just want to sort of share that with our list, with all our viewers. But okay, I love you. Can I give you a hug?
too. Yeah.
And a kiss. Matt, I'll give you a hug and a kiss too.
You guys, have your
But it was
moment. It's
just a
all good.
moment.
Have your moment. Have your moment.
which is fine. But wait, you got a brand new single out at the moment, which is called Aussie As, which is an amazing title and an amazing single, and I did hear it earlier today.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's watch the video first.
All right. Okay.
We'll throw to the video and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Aussie as a lazy Sunday Arvie, stubby in your hand, snag on the barbie. Aussie as nippers on the beach, kids on the veranda, feeding lorikeets. It's a blue tongue in the garden, it's a footy on the roof, it's a cheeky kookaburra laughing at you. It's 100 different cultures all rolled into one. Let's call them Barry Baz, Sharon Shaz, it's Aussie As. Aussie as a raffle in a pub, and chicken chow mein in a bowling club. Aussie As, a flutter on the cup, and $5 in the tin when the salvos show up. It's a bugle call at sunrise, it's a pinned on rosemary sprig, it's a rum and milk, a 10 on tails, every April 25th. It's 100 different cultures, all rolled into one. Let's call them Barry Baz, Sharon Shaz, it's Aussie As. 05 at Bathurst, a box of redheads matches, kids swinging on a Hills horse, and bindies in the grass. A cyclone called Tracy, a ginger boy named Blue, and Jack and Jillaroo. Now that's Aussie As. Yachts on Boxing Day, and that big smile on Luna Park's face. It's a simple word like sorry, it's a flag to call your own. It's red, white and blue, and it's red, black and yellow. It's 100 different cultures, all rolled into one. Let's call them Barry Baz, Sharon Shaz, it's Aussie As. A pair of tracky dads, Aussie As.
Wow, that was amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
There's a story behind that video and song. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the video, I mean, if you listen to the words in Aussie As, they're very literal, and there's lots of pictures. There's lots of pictures about my growing up in Australia, like kids feeding lorikeets on a veranda. I mean, I remember that as an early age, being in Mollymook on the south coast where I grew up. You know, coming out of a morning and the lorikeets everywhere and feeding them, and you know, obviously the blue tongues in the garden, and just lots of different things, and then different things I've seen over the years and things people have said to me. But the thing with Aussie As is I spent a lot of years travelling around Australia, and then after that, I spent a lot of years living over in Nashville, over in America. So when I came back, it was like the accent was thicker. I heard things. I heard a lot of the sayings that we say over here. I knew we had sayings, but I didn't realise that we had so many. We're like a nation built on slang. It's fantastic, and it's like if you haven't eaten something for a long time and then you have it, you go, oh my God, I forgot how much I love this. Not that I forgot how much I loved Australia. I just had my focus somewhere else. But when I came back, and I've been back here for 3 years now. I'm totally focused on this beautiful country more than I ever have been. So Aussie As is just about the way I feel about Australia. Yeah. But what I had to do was really dig deep and try and say it a little bit differently, because there's been so many great songs about Australia already. I mean, there's so many amazing songs. I didn't want to just be one of those songs that was, just another song about Australia. I want it to be a special song about Australia. And then with the video, what I wanted to do, Michael, was because the song's so literal, I wanted to make the video about the people and about multiculturalism and where Australia's heading in the future, you know, because Australia's changing all the time, and I'm really proud of this country. And so I wanted to try and include everybody. You can't, my mother told me years ago, you can't make everybody happy, and you can't. But I want to try with this song. I don't want the person living in the middle of Sydney to feel alienated. I want to touch the person living in Glebe. I want to touch the person living out of Broken Hill, if I can. Involve them all. I mean, that's a big call. It's a big call to do that, because usually country songs, they're for country people, and city songs are for city people. I don't want this to be conceived as a country song. I want it to be conceived as a song about Australia. If I can. I don't know if it's possible, but anyway.
It's just beautiful. And there is a man that plays Is it over 100 years old in the video?
102 years
old.
old.
Oh my God! How did that happen?
Okay, his name. I'm glad you brought that up. His name's Alf Carter, and he's the guy that you would have seen that was throwing the pennies and the two up.
Right.
Now that's Alf Carter. I wanted to have a veteran in there. But then again, there's been a lot of songs too, with Anzac songs with soldiers and that in it. So I thought, how can I do it just a little bit differently? So I reached out to the RSL and I said, there's a guy in Newcastle, just around the corner from me. Yeah. His name's Alf Carter. He's 102 years old. I said, oh my God, this is perfect. So I went around and met Alf, and he's so sprightly and blah, blah, blah. And I said, so do you like a beer, Alf? He said, I'm working on a carton right now. He's 102 years old. And then he starts talking about some next door neighbour that he's keen on that's about 70 years younger than him. You know what I mean? It's like, amazing. You know what I mean? He's so sprightly and cheeky. And he wore his suit and his medals, and he threw the pennies. He's just a fantastic guy. So I've got to go around and catch up with Alf. Yeah. Take the iPad around there and show him the video. But the great thing about Alf's place is you go into Alf's place and it's going back in time. The newest thing that he has in his house is a 1970s dial phone.
Oh,
that's the newest thing he's got in his house.
Wow.
It's like stepping back in time. It's fantastic.
How inspiring. This is Thank you for sharing that story.
No worries.
Inspiring story. Now, Leonie, what's your passions outside of what you do? With music and
my
so
passion
forth.
is, within music.
Yeah, is it
going to country music festivals. I've been going to Tamworth.
Tamworth. Let's talk about
25
Tamworth,
years.
which is you got a showcase there.
I do.
Congratulations.
I have a 2RRR showcase, and I give out awards.
Yes, and where do you have that at?
At the South Tamworth Bowler.
Oh, beautiful place.
And it's
I love that bowler.
Oh, it's my favourite club. They're really good.
Do you have it at the back or in the main bar?
In the main bar.
In the main bar, beautiful. Oh, that's great.
It's great. And the best part about that was I had a man come up to me and he touched me on the shoulder and he said, "Excuse me," and I said, "Yes," and I thought, "Oh, what have I done wrong?"
Right.
And he said, that watching your awards and watching the artists get up there crying and thinking, I've never won anything, and it was so good, you know. And he said, these are the real awards, and I went, oh wow, you know. And
that's nice.
It was so nice to be told that by a complete stranger, that the 2RRR awards are real. It's wonderful.
Well, but see, sorry, just change the subject. Getting back to it, this industry. The music industry is so hard to break. It's so hard to get your foot in the right doors. You know, it's like I always compare it to, it's like a dog needing a pat. You don't get one until you really start getting up there. So, at the ground level, at the roots level, you need award shows like yours, and you need presenters like you, and you need community radio to keep yourself going, you know what I mean? Until hopefully one day you do get the break, you do win a golden guitar, you do start being able to do paid shows, you do start getting on national TV and all those kinds of things. But until then, you know, you need support. You've got to have support. So
absolutely,
good on you for doing that kind of stuff, because that's what without that there'd be a big gap in the industry, and a lot of people would give up because you need acknowledgement as you rise through the ranks. You really do, and it's very important to have that. It's very important to have that.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question with you, Matt. Yeah. What does Tamworth mean to you?
Everything. I haven't missed one for 25 years. Even when I lived in America, I'd come back every year, and I'd come back every January. Probably 25 years I haven't missed one. I lived there for 6 years. Yep. So Tamworth's like my second home. Yep. Absolutely. I love going back there, and I think the festival is. I've done most of the major festivals here in Australia, and they're all great. But Tamworth is very different. It's very original in the way it does things. It's fantastic, and it's a beautiful town and beautiful people there. So
talk about original. You're working on original music at the moment as well. So this single is the first single off the album.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
When are we expecting the album?
I'm hoping around about August, September is when I want to bring the album out. I've been in the studio with Shane Nicholson for the last couple of weeks. Yep. Got one more week to go in the studio. And then it takes a while to put finishing touches on and see what you got to do. It's like making a pizza.
Yeah. I love it.
You build it up, and then once you've got all the ingredients on it, then you've got to bake it. Yeah. But you've got to bake it at the right temperature, and then you've got to pull it out at the right time. But you got to it's all these different things. You got to do it, and then you've got to cut it right.
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure
Yeah.
the proportions go to the right people.
That's
don't you?
right. It's all
You
these
do.
kinds of things. So
Yeah.
I'm still at the moment. I'm still adding ingredients on the pizza.
Fantastic.
It's not in the oven yet.
Well, I can't wait to taste it.
But I've got all the right ingredients.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
just putting them in the
Put
right
together.
spots. Putting them in the right
Amazing.
spots. Yeah.
Amazing. And what's your passion outside of music? I think a lot of
It's a hard one because I spend so much time writing. I'm always writing, but I'd have to say outside of music would be travelling with my fiancée Sharon, which we're going about to
which we love, by the way.
we're getting married in August.
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, wonderful.
August 24th. So lately we've been doing a lot of planning for that and things like that. But Sharon and I love to travel. So we only just got back from New Zealand. I'd never been. Sharon had been before. We hired a little camper van and went around. Spent 10 days going around the South Island.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
we're looking at in a couple of years just pretty much getting in a caravan and travelling around Australia. And I'll just perform wherever. But I'd say. Apart from, I'm always writing, I'm always songwriting. But if I had to say what I would do outside of that, it would be travelling with my sweetheart.
Oh, it's beautiful. You've touched me. Thank you. You're also busy as well. You just got back from Queanbeyan, which is...
I did.
What were you doing there? And you've got a gig as well today?
Yeah, no, I did. I played on Friday night with my good mate Drew McClure. So I opened up for him. He's such a fantastic guy and great performer, and he actually takes me on a few shows with him. And then last night I did a little solo gig myself in a pub called the Tourist Hotel in Queanbeyan. We had a ball of a night. It was a good night.
I've got another question for you.
Okay.
Who's your three favourite songwriters
Our favourite songwriters?
that you write with? Yeah.
Oh, that I write with.
Yeah.
I was going to say three favourite that I don't. Three
that you write with, because you've
write
written with some amazing people.
Yeah, one of them is myself. No.
Yeah. Love the way we write together.
Right.
My number one would be. Let me think. Geez, it's a
Hard question, isn't it? You've worked with everybody.
Lots of people.
I'm just trying to think. Obviously, I love to write with Garth Porter. I've learnt so much off Garth Porter.
He's amazing.
Over the years. I'd have to say Alan Caswell.
I was going to say Alan Caswell's got to be right up there. And Drew McAllister.
Drew McAllister, Luke.
Wow. We should have said 10.
There's so many, There's just so many that I.
Laurie Minson.
Laurie Minson's great to write with.
Yeah.
He's such a good writer.
Yes.
There's just so many. There's so many.
And that's why it's really good recognising Australian talent, especially in the country music scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, my favourite would be Luke Austin.
Amazing.
I write with Luke at least once a week on Skype.
Wow.
He lives in Melbourne, and we write and we write and we write and we write. And we write some amazing songs, and Luke's going to be bringing a new album out soon, and I'm hoping to have a heap of songs on it. We write some great songs, but I was going to say, if I would have to say my favourite writers I don't write with, that I haven't written with yet, my number one would be Paul Kelly.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he's just inspiring. John Williamson.
Yeah, absolutely.
James Blundell. Yeah.
James Blundell's great.
Yeah.
But there's two guys right there, John Williamson and Paul Kelly. They just think outside the box.
Yes. Yeah.
And when they write, but they probably don't even try to think outside the box. It's just the way that they're programmed. I mean, John Williamson just comes up with some amazing. You hear it and you go, "How did you think of that? That's so cool." And they write small. They write about little things, but they're significant. I think if you get too big in your songwriting and too grand. You want to touch people with little everyday things, and I think that's really important, especially for country music. Small little everyday things. Brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
I don't know, little things. Little things. Let's write a song about brushing your teeth and make it interesting.
Absolutely. Okay, if I get one last question before I get you to sing some tunes, if you don't mind.
Oh, no worries.
Exclusive to the panel show.
It's early, but that'll be cool.
Okay. What message do you have for those aspiring songwriters, musicians out there
Okay.
that are trying to break through?
Okay, number one would be believe in yourself at all times. Don't give up. Definitely don't give up. Be around people that make you feel good about yourself and that support you. But the biggest thing I do is dig deep for those really original concepts and ideas, and remember that just because Lee Kernaghan or Becky Cole said it, it's already been said. So dig deep for something and say something. Find your own voice and dig deep for dig deep for an original concept, an idea, and try and stand out. We're all a product of our playlists or of our record collection. But what you've got to do to be successful in this business is step outside of that and find yourself. Because if you're gonna sound like Lee or Becky Cole, there's already one of those already, and no one's going to do it better than those people. So you need to find yourself. But sometimes that takes a long time to do that. But aspire to be your own person with your own sound and your own ideas and your own themes.
Oh, fantastic. Wise words right there on the panel show. Thank you, Matt.
No worries.
Leonie?
I have to say, always contact me at 2RR.
There you go. There's your radio platform, guys.
I will support any independent. I love all country music artists. I love all music artists, but sometimes I'll find someone at a market and I go, oh my goodness, come into 2RR and sing. And they're not country, they've just got the most amazing voices. And I think, wow, it's just a wonderful thing to be able to help promote people and do what they do and love what they do. So,
can I just suck in real quick because I don't want to forget this.
You're Matt Scullian, of course you can.
With Aussie As, we're talking about favourite people to write with. I also love to write with my good mate Paul Grierson. Now, Paul's from Simply Bush. Now, I co-wrote Aussie As with Paul, and part of the reason that Aussie As has what it has in it is because of Paul too. And I took the idea to Paul, and together we wrote that song. So I don't want to forget. I don't want to leave that out. Because,
that's amazing.
No, because it was a very big important part of that song.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's beautiful.
We're filming in Douglas Park, and Paulie lives in Douglas
just up
Park.
the road.
Hello, guys.
He's probably listening. G'day,
Come
Paul.
on the show.
And he's a good friend of Rhonda's, so
there you go.
he certainly is, and a good friend of ours.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute honour to have you guys on the show, Matt Scullian.
Been an honour. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. And Leanne. I love you both. But we've got a special right here on the panel show. I want to get you, take it away.
Sing a song?
Yes, please. Sing a song, maybe even two.
This is a song all about my hometown.
Okay, beautiful.
And the thing about this song is I wanted to, instead of just talking about my hometown, I wanted to talk about the sticker on my guitar case, right? Which is my hometown, and I carry it everywhere I go. And whenever the sticker wears off, I get another sticker and stick it next to that sticker. And it's a conversational point no matter where I go, this sticker. So anyway, that's what this song's about.
Awesome, thank you.
My $1 sticker has been around the block. I bought it in a surf shop. It cost me $5. I stuck it on my guitar case and sealed it with a song. Everybody knows where I come from. My $1 sticker catches your eye. It's a conversation starter, a name to break the ice. Somebody's always been there, they tell me every time they see that sticker of mine. But now it's starting to fade, and I guess I'll have to buy a new one when I'm down there next. They could send one in the post, but what a great excuse to get back home. My $1 sticker has got itchy feet. It can't sit still for too long. It's got places to be. Though it's seen most of Australia, it's not one to brag. It's the most travelled sticker I've had. But now it's starting to fade, and I guess I'll have to buy a new one when I'm down there next. They could send one in the post, but what a great excuse to get back home. It's even been overseas on a plane to other countries. And it's funny when they try to read it and they say, oola doola. Somebody tried to steal it, but it wouldn't unstick. Now there's fingernail marks on the corner bits. So I guess we'll be together till the road ends, just like travelling friends. But now it's starting to fade, and I guess I'll have to buy a new one when I'm down there next. But the least I can do is stick the new one next to it, and I'll have two.
Thank you.
It was so touching. I just loved it. Loved it. I actually loved it that much. But I'd love you to do another song if you can. If you're willing to do that.
Of course we can.
Can I let you go right now?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to sing along with me?
Oh, you sing it and I'll join in.
So this is one. This is my very first Golden Guitar nomination about 12 years ago. This song.
Oh, wow.
I just moved down from Darwin, and I moved to Tamworth, and I met a fella called Laurie Minson. Now Laurie has lived there all his life, and Laurie's played. He was the musical director and guitar player and harmonica player in Lee Kernaghan's band for 20 years. And he's also played with Jimmy Barnes and Ross Wilson, and he's amazing, a very good friend of mine, great songwriter. He's won a couple of golden guitars too. His father was John Minson. Now John Minson they used to call Mr. Hoedown. He started the Tamworth Country Music Festival. Wow. So he was very he was one of the guys that started that. And anyway,
thank you for that story.
I'll sing the song.
Awesome. Amazing.
It goes a bit like this. Well, I was just a no-hoper, a lazy so-and-so, living on welfare in a trailer for a home, with no prospects for the future, until that fateful night when I met my sugar mama. I was 20 years younger, but she said she didn't mind. Well, I could see that she was lonely, so I let her buy me a beer. Well, I was staring at her diamonds, and she was checking out my rear. Although I've never eaten lobster, it goes well with champagne. And now I'm driving her Mercedes, though I miss those trailer ladies, I really can't complain. 'Cause she took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. Well, I'd like to thank you, buddy, for your generosity. Well, I'm living like a king with my very own money tree. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. Now I'm a man of leisure, although I work real hard to stay under the limit of her credit card. And when I'm finished up my shopping, well, I'm working on my tan in my alligator boots and my Armani suits. Well, I'm a self-made man. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. I'd like to thank you, buddy, for your generosity. Well, I'm living like a king, like a Hollywood celebrity. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. Well, you wasted all those precious hours working on your bank account, when all she wanted was a little affection, but it's too late for you now. And I'll look after your house, although I might change the colour and build a room out the back for my sister and my mother. I've taught your poodle to hunt rabbits and your wife to drink moonshine. Oh, the fridge is always full, my family love the pool, I'm a popular guy. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. But I'll be happy to lend you some interest-free. Well, it could not happen to a nicer guy, one so deservedly. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. She took all your hard-earned money and she's spending it on me. And you can take that to the bank.
That was
absolutely
amazing.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Was that you or me? That's all. Thank you for joining us on the panel show.
No worries.
For hear the music.
Thank you for having me,
Thank
Michael.
you so much.
Again.
Can I give you a
my
hug?
pleasure. My pleasure.
You're
mate.
amazing. You're
Thank
amazing. I'll
you.
give you a hug too, darling. Leonie.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so
That
much,
was
guys.
great.
Thank you for
Yeah, we're
joining
going to
us.
see you. No worries, babe. Mwah.
See you next time. This
See
is
ya.
Michael
Bye.
El-Bacha.
Bye.